This video was inspired by a conversation that I had with a very close friend of mine, and I had just told her that I've decided to move to Bali and I've booked all my flights and like I have my visa and all of it. And she was like, "Wow, you've made such a huge decision. Are you not scared?" And before that point, I hadn't necessarily thought about the fear side of it. I think I was already scared in some sense, but I hadn't necessarily like sit down and really like contemplated like this is actually happening. Like I'm really selling everything that I own and leaving the people that I know, my friends, everyone, and just moving to this country. But as soon as she asked me that question, like the fear really started to settle in, and that really got me thinking about how fear can hold you back from making big decisions sometimes. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about, because I think maybe if I share how I am making this big decision, it can make it easier for someone else to make a big decision also in their own life, maybe with their personal finances. That is like maybe they want to cut down or something like that to save money, or maybe you might even want to move to Bali yourself, who knows. But I just want to share with you how and why I am choosing to feel the fear and still do it anyway. So for change to happen, I think two things need to happen. There needs to be the desire for the change, and there also needs to be an opportunity for the change. So when I speak about desire, do you want to have this thing, or do you want to change your life in this way? For me, the digital nomad lifestyle is something I've always been intrigued by. I discovered it on YouTube. I watch a lot of videos of digital nomads that travel around the world. I recently started even watching digital nomads that travel around Africa, which has been so interesting. But I've always been interested in this community, in this lifestyle, but I've never had the opportunity to do that. So I've always had the desire, but it's never something that I really ever seriously considered, because it was just like, how can that happen? It's not possible for me type of thing. But now, because of everything that has happened in the way that the world has changed in the past 2 years, because of Miss Corona, who won't leave us alone, my job, my 9 to 5, which is my main source of income, has become more flexible, which means this lifestyle is way more possible for me now than it has ever been. So now the only thing standing between me and being a digital nomad is one decision: me making the decision and packing my bags and going. So I have both the desire and the opportunity, right? So perfect storm, right? Yeah, but not really at the same time, because like I said, there are some things that make me scared about making this big decision. So I want to share with you some of those like things that make me a little nervous about my move to Bali. So firstly, I have lived in Cape Town for 6 years. I have lived in Cape Town my whole adult life. This is where I learned to be an adult. This is where I got my first job. This is where all my friends are. My roots are in Cape Town, is what is basically what I am saying, right? So to uproot my life is a big decision, because in as much as I absolutely love all of my friends, some of those friendships might fade away because we can't meet up in person. It's very hard to maybe stay connected online. That's another thing. There's also the fact that I won't necessarily have a home to come back to Cape Town. So if I ever decided that I wanted to come back to Cape Town, that means I would have to go through the whole looking for a home to stay in, to rent, which it wouldn't be a hassle, but it'll be like trying to start afresh basically. So I think that's one of the things that makes me a little nervous or scared to move, because I have roots here and I have a life, I have a routine, I kind of know what to expect and all of that stuff. And also I love Cape Town. Like, if you've ever been to Cape Town, then you know that this city is just stunning. It is beautiful. I don't think there's any city that's like better than Cape Town. But then again, I haven't seen every city in the world, but I absolutely love Cape Town. So it is definitely hard to make the decision to leave a city that is just amazing like this. Another reason I think that hasn't really like sunk in, not only for me but I think also for my partner, is the fact that we have to give up our cat Prince. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen me like post him on my stories every now and then. But I have a cat, his name is Prince. He is so cute. I absolutely love Prince. But because we're moving now and we want to be moving quite a bit regularly and more freely, we won't be able to keep him as our pet. So it's so sad to think that I'm going to have to give him to someone at some point next month, actually, because I'm recording this video in December and we are leaving at the end of January, which means we have a little less than 2 months to find a new home for him, or have to take him to the shelter, which is something we are hoping we don't have to do. So that is another reason that maybe not scared, maybe scared doesn't fit for this reason, but maybe hesitant. Yeah, that's another reason I'm hesitant to move to Bali. I don't know what this is going to really do to the type of personal finance content that I create, because personal finance is something that is very close to my heart, specifically like financial independence and early retirement. So that's one of the reasons that I'm also scared to move to Bali, because again, my life is in Cape Town, South Africa. So the content that I've created up to this point has always been within the context of me living in South Africa. And I know like not much is really going to change when I start traveling, because I'll still be using the same like South African institutions and investing with the same South African companies and all of that stuff. So I'll still be very much in South Africa in the eyes of SARS and all those financial institutions, but I won't necessarily be buying like groceries in the same country, which means maybe my context might be a little different. So that's the other reason I'm a little nervous or scared about the move. But at the same time, I am so excited, because this move actually means that I am going to be able to share with you guys a very big part of like building wealth and the journey of financial independence and early retirement, because this is where the flexibility and the options of having that financial independence and being on that journey really kick in. And for me, this is like the stage I'm in now. I'm starting to see that I'm getting more flexibility because of some of the options and some of the things that I'm doing with my money. So I think that's going to be really exciting to share with you guys. Some fire nomad content, if you will. So financial independence, early retirement, digital nomad content. It's a really nice mix. But one thing is definitely for sure, I am going to still be talking about financial independence, early retirement. I'm still going to be sharing my journey and educational content. So that's not going to change. It's just going to evolve a little bit. So yeah, those are some of the reasons why I am scared to move to Bali. But guys, I am mostly excited, to be honest. Like, I am really choosing to feel the fear and still do it anyway. Like I said in the beginning, this video was inspired by a conversation that I had with a friend of mine, and this is a very close friend of mine. And I realized from that conversation that most of the huge decisions that you make, the decisions that you look back on in life, and you're like, that was a very good decision, that was a life-defining decision, thank you old me for making that decision. Those are like the best, like the decisions that really push you outside of your comfort zone, which is where fear is, right? Like when you're not comfortable, when things are not familiar, when you don't know what you should be doing and you're just starting from scratch, it is uncomfortable. And that is where fear is. And unfortunately, that discomfort is where the growth is as well, right? So that means that if you want to grow and if you want to really like live your life, you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. And that is how I am choosing to look at this decision and choosing to look at all the other decisions that I make in my life. I hope that this video will help someone out there. I've never really made a video like this before, but I thought it was a very interesting topic and I wanted to share with you guys, because not every decision needs to be perfect. You don't need to feel comfortable and confident all the time. Sometimes you can feel fear, but sometimes choosing to feel that fear and still do it anyway can be the best decision. And that is the message that I want to share with everyone that watches this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments. Do you feel like some of the best decisions you've made in your life have come when you were making them and you felt afraid? Or do you disagree with me? Do you think something else? Let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to engage on the topic. So yeah, guys, I will see you in my next video. Until then, be sure to follow me on Instagram or on Twitter if you want to catch up with me day to day. And also subscribe so that you don't ever miss any of my YouTube videos every single Wednesday. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.